Hey guys, welcome to I want to say episode 9, maybe episode 8 of the Allie and Dan podcast.
Welcome back. We are
Welcome, babe.
excited to be here.
Well, you didn't sound very excited there. That sounded like a generic opening.
Oh,
It's fine if you're not that
does
excited.
Does this sound more excited? Welcome back, guys.
Yes, see,
Okay.
that's what
Okay.
that was perfect.
Well, the Van fan knows that would be exaggerating.
Well, yeah, we can't fool the Van fam anymore these days. We've been at this for over a year now. In fact, I was just reminiscing, not even yesterday it was, about how a year ago we had just gone to Idaho and we were just entering the Tetons right around this time. Idaho, Yellowstone, and then into the Tetons.
Yeah.
I mean, we had 50 subscribers on YouTube and we had no idea what was going to happen. We just knew we wanted to go do a report on the Gabby Petito situation, and we didn't know what we were going to find. And it ended up having a kind of a cascading effect because now we're doing a podcast. We've got a whole Van fam that hangs out with us on the regular. So, your thoughts?
On us doing this for a year now?
Well, really a year from when we kind of hit our...
So, last year, most like all of you, I could not take my eyes off of the internet. I was so addicted.
You're talking about the Gabby Petito case.
Yeah. And we were also hitting the road. Mm-hmm. So it was like I'd do a bunch of packing and then I'd grab my phone and check and see if there were any updates. And it was it's just like a constant on my mind while I was packing and getting the van ready. And then we hit the road. And those first few nights in the van were some of the only time I've ever been scared. Do you remember?
Yeah, when you were scared you were looking
I was
for
like,
bald men.
I think I just heard something. And I was nervous because I was like, he's out there and we're in this area. And it's the only time I've ever been scared in the van because
I was not scared of
safe.
Brian Laundrie. I mean, he's a total dweeb.
I don't think just Brian Laundrie. I was like, there's people out there that I never felt unsafe. And then I did starting that.
I do remember that. I also want to point out our new microphone holders. These are chopsticks. And I know there's been some people, I think maybe Kevin Fitzgerald, Patreon family member, said it's hard for him to watch us hold these tiny little mics, so we're upgrading the podcast today.
Maybe, I mean...
And it's already very good. I'm loving this.
Why don't we attach them to our shirts?
Well, I personally just don't, I just don't like it. I kind of like to be feel like I'm investigating, I'm doing a live report with my mic, and now this feels even better with the chopstick, so I'm really enjoying this.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Kevin, my arm is rested on my hip.
That's your hip.
And this is pretty comfortable.
So, guys, we missed you last week because I had a family emergency, and if you were on Sunday Night Live this week, you heard about that. But it was Friday afternoon. Allie and I were in the barn working on, I don't know, we were just kind of hanging out.
Cabinets and hooks.
Yeah, we were just kind of dinking and ducking around the property, working on stuff, and we were heading to some friend's house for a barbecue that night, and I think I was thinking about going for a bike ride. It was like 3:30, and I got a call from my mom, and I answered it, and I was like, "Hey, Mom, what's going on?" And she says she has bad news, and I've never gotten a call quite like that. I mean, I've gotten a call from her where she says she has bad news, and it was my grandma had broken her leg, which was, that sucks, but it's not quite, and I could just tell that it was something serious. And so what ended up happening was my stepdad was on a weekly Friday hike, and we saw him and my mom for breakfast 2 weeks before last Friday, and he told us he goes for a hike every Friday, and he was with a friend, and he collapsed and had some, a heart attack or blood clot. I don't know the specifics, so we'll just call it a heart attack. And he was without oxygen for 15 minutes, but luckily the person with him was a CPR specialist, I guess, or well-trained, even though I don't think he was a doctor. And he must have done enough CPR because now my stepdad, as of yesterday, left the hospital. Pretty crazy.
So in that call, I mean, last week, I don't know if we mentioned this, but we sincerely didn't know if Dan was going down for...
Yeah, we didn't know.
We didn't know.
We didn't know if I was going to be down there to help my mom plan a funeral, or, you know, it's crazy to say, and it's hard to think about.
It is. But thankfully, that is not the case.
Yeah.
And he had an incredibly strong comeback, and he is looking at a really long road to recovery, but he's home.
Yeah. So that was tough for all of us, but happy now that he's back home. That's great news. So we basically didn't get to do a podcast last week because I was away from Allie for a week and just too much stuff going on. So we're back this week, and we got some good topics to talk about. We got some really good topics to talk about, don't we?
We do.
This is a current events podcast.
Okay, well, I don't know about you guys, but I might need to share my most current event.
Oh my gosh, get into it, please.
I don't know what's going on. I kind of feel like I woke up with contractions, and I have had them all day, and I downloaded the contraction app because I thought it's time to start recording just in case. But the thing is, I don't really feel like they're ending. So I don't know if it's contractions or what. Like it's...
Well, you said you had a toot earlier. You tooted, and that provided a little bit of relief, but not much, right?
He's not lying. But I'm like, what
So
could
it could be a
be?
stomach thing, right?
It's like, it's all over, and she's huge on my right side,
Yeah.
and my belly is like very misshaped.
Lopsided, big time.
I don't know, and everything is a lot more uncomfortable than it was.
It's getting real.
And so we stayed in the chalet last night because it was not booked. And
Which is where we are right now, guys. This beautiful backdrop that Allie built. I mean, look how good that looks on camera. If you're watching on YouTube, it's just beautiful.
It does. I love it here. And so we washed, I don't know how many loads of laundry,
Multiple.
of baby clothes and all of that last night, and washed like toys and bottles and all of that stuff too. And we
Real
worked
life
on the
parent
van,
stuff.
and still have quite a bit of work on the van to get going. But I don't know what's going on with my stomach. It's really uncomfortable. I don't know. I spoke to my midwife, and she's like, if it feels extreme, come in for an evaluation. But I don't know if it feels extreme or just really kind of uncomfortable and painful.
It's tough. Don't know. It's tough right now. I mean, we're in limbo because we're not quite far enough along where it's like, whoa, this could really kick on. And, you know, we're 35 and a half weeks. 36 weeks on Saturday.
Well...
And you, obviously, your mom had early deliveries.
This is when my mom gave birth to my brother.
Yeah. Is that what she said?
Yeah.
35 weeks? Or 36 weeks? Or what? Which one? What was it?
Well, she was... I don't know if she knows the exact date or anything, but about a month early.
Oh, really? Yeah, so right around now.
Right. So wow. I have an appointment on Monday, and I'm like, maybe if this just kind of subsides. I think, I went around the property today and was watering everything, and I think I probably need to calm down just a little bit, even though I have so much stuff I want to get done. And maybe they will subside. I don't know. I don't know.
And so Allie's contemplating blocking off this beautiful chalet for longer than she had. Originally, it's blocked off from October 19th to November 19th. I'm in the camp where I say you should be comfortable and this is maybe going to be one of the only times that you're ever going to really live here, unless, I don't know, some wild thing happens. But well, this is your one chance. So a few, a little bit of extra money versus the comfort and just the coziness and the calming feeling. I don't know.
Getting up to go to the bathroom last night in the bathroom was really, really amazing.
Because we weren't in the van.
I have not been sleeping very well, but in either case, having a bathroom was really nice. I think we need to scooch that way.
No.
Oh, I see. Yeah, we're off center.
That's okay. There we go. That's good.
So it's just, I'm just not sure. I think I will. Point. It's just kind of hard because it's quite a lot of money if we didn't stay here, but it's not booked in advance, which is weird.
That's
the
so
first
weird.
time that's ever been
the whole month of October is open.
Which is wild. Like, not even the weekends are booked. I haven't seen this either. Literally since I put it on Airbnb.
Can we call that a sign from above?
Is this a sign? Should we just stay here? But it's also hard because we're having a baby and they're very expensive and it would be really nice to have the money. So that's kind of weighing on me a lot. I think I will block it off. It makes sense, I think, to have this.
Follow your gut, follow your instinct. That's what I would say.
I do just feel like she's coming soon.
That's crazy.
I've been talking to her every day and telling her that we are in this together. We're going to work together to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't know we were going to make this work together this quick.
Well, we don't know, but okay, let's get into today. This is a current events podcast, and we talk current events. And so after our live stream on Sunday, we were told by the Van Fam, by you at home, that we should watch the Gabby Petito story, which is a new movie, a Lifetime movie, which I can't remember the last time I watched a Lifetime movie. So we watched it Sunday night, right after the live stream, and we wanted to discuss that with you guys because it was interesting.
We'd like to share our thoughts.
Yes.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of you shared your thoughts with us, and for starters, it felt too soon. I mean, we're talking about something that happened a year ago.
Yeah, I didn't get that feeling, but I can see that feeling. I wasn't really thinking. Yeah. I could see that. I wasn't focused on that, but it is soon. I mean, there's no doubt. It's not even a year since. It's about a year, I guess.
It's just like, I don't know. They jumped right on it and made a movie, and I think the actors were well placed, I guess you could say, but
it really looked like Brian Laundrie.
It did.
Like he was the most accurate.
In my eyes, she really had the personality of Gabby.
Yeah, from what we knew.
But
you're right.
I'm not right from what we knew. I'm not sure, though. It was hard to watch when they were camping and stuff.
I feel like he was probably pretty similar to that. Like, just a total a-hole and, like, super negative. I don't know. I mean, that's the problem that's kind of what I was thinking while I was watching the movie is like there's not much, like, if we have a lot of back history on the internet, like I do, you have we have Facebook pages, stuff like if we were in their shoes, God forbid, and something happened, I feel like you'd get a better sense of like who we were as people is there anything of Brian? I've never seen what his personality is like. Like he wasn't really in the YouTube video. It was like Gabby doing it. So it's hard for me to say like, oh yeah, Brian. So I'm just guessing that Brian was kind of like a negative dick. Didn't believe in any, pessimistic, glass half empty type of guy. That part about it was...
she alludes to that in her...
True.
The cop hat on.
Yeah, that too. That adds into that.
So, but for me, it was like, why didn't they just use the locations that they were in? Why it wouldn't have been that hard to like use the actual locations because none of that looked like
Yeah, that's one thing.
anything that was real. Like, none of that matched up.
We had been to all the spots.
They could have been in a completely different state filming it.
Oh, they were, for
after
sure.
The
they all shot it in one spot. But none of the spots looked like they were portrayed in the movie. Like Spread Creek, for example.
Right, so that, it was like, why, I don't know, make it more real. Like,
yeah, but I mean, that's...
Do all movies like that? Okay.
That I wouldn't say.
And then there was just some things that I would have put in there as a director to, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so weird to me, and some people said they put in the Miranda Baker stuff, which I remember when we saw that live like a year ago, and we were watching. We're like, oh, this video on TikTok is crazy about like giving Brian a ride, and then
first time when we saw that Miranda Baker TikTok, it was like, is she lying?
Yeah, we didn't know.
She's just trying to get clout. Yeah. And then I was like, why would somebody do that?
Well, I think it got vetted enough that she wouldn't want to put her face on that. I mean, why would you want to lie? There were so many people watching that you'd like kind of tarnish your own reputation for no reason. But anyways, I'm surprised they didn't show the Red, White, and Bethune. Now I see what people were saying on our Sunday night live stream, because that was such a massive break. That brought them right to Spread Creek, right to where it happened. Yeah. You know? That's so bizarre to me.
Yeah, that was like, oh, I have chills all over my body right now. Just thinking of that video when you can see somebody pull the door closed in that spot that we then parked Helen.
The one, that. It's crazy that we went to all those spots, and I think the most chilling was Spread Creek, by far.
Oh yeah,
by far. And but one thing I thought was probably not well done, in my opinion, and maybe they did this in the movie because they were trying to like be respectful, or I'm sure they had their reasons, but I think the night the crime took place in Spread Creek, I have a feeling was much more violent and much more high energy, like aggressive, and maybe even like Gabby like yelling at Brian, not trying, like in the movie she's like trying to nicely break up with him. And I have a feeling it probably was much different than that, would be my guess.
We have no idea what happened. Nobody does, unfortunately. But that wasn't really my idea of how it happened. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that...
Do you guys think it was a nice, calm conversation, then Brian just hugged her to death? I mean, that they were insinuating that he like grabbed her, hold her, and I'm sure. Obviously, we know he choked her after that, so they didn't need to show all that. And I thought that was good the way they did it, but
that would have been terrible to
their reenactment.
Actually watch that.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I guess maybe that's what they had to do to make it in the movie, but I was like,
it was inaccurate. I think highly inaccurate.
Yeah, I don't know how they could have done better. It was just like that's not how I picture it going down.
No. Not at all. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I think back to like how his parents why. It's just so interesting how it all went down. Like, they hired the lawyer to protect themselves and Brian, and it's like, no matter what in life, I think you just always want to be like honest and do the right thing, and you'll pretty much come out in the best possible way, given the situation. Like, if his parents had been honest and said, like, here's what we know, we hired a lawyer, but here's what we know. I mean, that would have gone, I bet they would have had way less scrutiny, and now their lives, I mean, I think they either sold their house or they were trying to sell it. I saw that a while back. I don't know. To me, that movie brought back a lot of memories of all those spots we went to.
Yeah.
Moab and Spread Creek.
Down to like the place where they found him and like their parents' house. just a lot of stuff.
I also, some of the stuff at the beginning of the movie, I'm wondering like how accurate was that?
Yeah, me
That
too.
was almost hard to watch. It was so corny.
Well, it was like pretty drawn out, and I would assume that is how it went down, like with her friend Rose and so on. But it was like, okay, get on with it. Like I don't know, I didn't need that much of it or whatever.
Even before that, like when it's like, "Hey Brian, you didn't talk to me after high school. What the heck?" It's like, I don't know. That doesn't happen in life, especially to a guy that like Brian, who is like not. He's not like some like what was it that Gabby saw in Brian? I wonder, because I don't know. For me, the movie Brian was the most accurate part of that movie. He's like the actor that played him, his look, the way that they wrote the character and had him act it out, I thought was probably the most accurate part of that movie. It brought back a lot of memories, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Anyway, it was something we couldn't obviously not watch, but definitely got my wheels turning again and thinking about, her final, I guess, evening or last few days on Earth. And it's like, there must have, I don't know, in my eyes, I feel like there's something that we all don't know still, because how could you just go from like arguing and not getting along, and it sounded like their physical altercation, the day the Moab police got them, wasn't really that intense. I mean, if it was,
It could have been. The movie made it seem. I mean, in the movie, I was like, "Whoa, maybe I didn't put enough emphasis in my mind on how important of an event that Moab fight and then arrest was."
yeah, I mean, it didn't sound like in the reports and stuff where the people called in, it didn't sound like
In the movie
awful.
he just like basically decks her, but with an open hand. So
and that's bad. But how does it go from that to murdering somebody?
Well, yeah, Brian was a seriously jealous, just
disturbed.
Yeah, disturbed, violent, angry person. And I think, for me, once again, I've said this multiple times, that for me was the most accurate part of the movie. So we watched the movie, and yeah, I thought it was I would say overall, my rating of the movie would be the they missed on like the scenery and stuff, but that's not as important to the story. But like Spread Creek was so inaccurate. Spread Creek was so misrepresented in the movie that it almost like
it looked like they were camping by themselves
in the middle of the forest.
Yeah.
But in reality, there's people all over the place, right. And there's not that tree. There are a lot of trees, but not where you camp.
Spread out.
Yeah, they're spread out, and there's a huge wide open creek that's like 100 yards wide and no water running through it in the middle of summer.
Yeah, so that was...
Overall, I'd give the movie like a 6.6 out of 10. And the thing that really helps that rating for me is the Brian Laundrie character.
Oh,
yeah. The Gabby actress did a good job, too.
I mean...
The acting was good.
I thought the personality fit her.
The acting was good.
But we don't know so much beyond that video that she made.
Yeah.
Be curious to know her family's true thoughts on it, but we probably won't get them.
Hey, speaking of, this is a current events podcast. We talk current events. Speaking of relationships, rocky relationships, it looks like Tom Brady and Giselle have hired divorce lawyers. That's
very sad.
That's sad.
Do they have kids?
Yeah, they got a bunch of kids. I think they have like 3 kids together.
Does he play for the
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right up the street from Northport, where we were? We went to Tampa Bay on my birthday.
I was going to say Packers, but
Packers.
Same. Oh, that's
we did go
Favre.
there. That's Green Bay.
Brett Favre.
So let me pull up this news story.
What do I know?
That's Aaron Rodgers these days.
Okay, that was a long time ago.
Speaking of football, my fantasy team lost, so I'm now 2-2 this week. Okay, so I've got the story right here from page 6. Tom Brady, Giselle Bundchen hired divorce lawyers amid marital woes, says sources.
Somebody was telling us that there was a little bit of trouble in paradise now.
My dad.
Oh.
My dad is a Tom Brady guy because my dad's from New England, and Tom Brady played for the Patriots for a while. So I honestly didn't give much thought to their marital woes, and I think I always kind of, as a couple in the spotlight, I feel like they did it pretty well. Oh, are you contracting right now?
To be honest, I don't know if Tom Brady walked past me. I don't know if I'd recognize
You
him.
would. He would be like, his aura would be so strong you'd not be able to look away. So that's Tom Brady right there. That's Gisele. Giselle's a Brazilian supermodel, very, very successful. Tom Brady.
Her.
Tom Brady is one of the best quarterbacks, maybe the best quarterback to ever play the game. Yeah, here's a quote. One source says, "I never actually thought this argument would be the end of them, but it looks like it is." And so what happened was Tom Brady retired after last season, and then decided like a month or two or some amount of time later to actually come back and play another season. He's 45 years old, still playing at a very high level in the National Football League, and he came back, and I guess Gisele...
So he chose football over her.
Over the family. Isn't that wild?
But I mean, if you say, okay, I choose football, and then your whole family goes, wouldn't you just be like, okay, I give up on football, or can he not back out?
Well, the thing is, and I guess it's tough because you've only got so many years to play this game. You know, you can only play professional football for... I mean, he's at 45 years old now. That's unheard of. And quarterbacks, the best ones, are playing longer, and he takes very good care of his body. But he's maybe got 1 or 2 years left. I keep saying that every year.
So you think she's being unfair about
No, I think I think it's very fair to say, hey, like, come on, hang up the cleats. He should have hung them up after the 2020 Super Bowl when he won it with Tampa Bay. But he's played 2 more years. This is his second year. So I don't know. I mean, it's tough, It's tough because once he's done, it's not like he can ever go play professional football again. He's going to go into the broadcast booth. Listen to this contract he got from Fox Sports to go broadcast games. He's going to be their number 1 color commentator. And he got $37.5 million a year for 10 years. Almost $400 million over 10 years to be a commentator. Isn't
Imagine
that crazy?
If we got paid even a hundredth of that.
Hold on. Listen, we got a fantastic Van fan. We've got a fantastic career here. And I am officially, this is me stating this live on the podcast. I'm only thinking positive about our vlog. I've spent too many times thinking, why hasn't it, why haven't we had this? Why haven't we had, yada, yada, yada. But now I'm only speaking positive things. Like the vlog's going great. Hey, we got more view. Like, I'm only pinging the things that are positive in my mind.
I like that. I think you had a few weeks there of like uncertainty in your mind, like not sure
couple
what
months,
to do.
I would say.
And I like that. I'm happy to hear that. I mean, we've put too much into it to just back away from it. But I'm just saying, like, wouldn't it be great if...
Oh, it'd be great.
Us chatting made a little more.
Well,
it's okay.
We have so much to be grateful for in our lives. I love what we do. I love the way we live our life. And it's only going to get better, especially now that we have our daughter joining us very soon. As soon as tonight, I would say. Right?
As soon as tonight. I mean, to be honest.
You didn't even react to that when I said you're going to have birth tonight.
I just don't understand why my stomach is so sore. I just pulled my leg in and I thought I was going to
pop a baby out.
My placenta.
Well, let me tell you this. This is a current events podcast. We discussed current events, and yesterday, this is as current as it gets, someone sent us a really good birth vlog that we watched together over dinner. And
my sister-in-law.
It was a birth of someone's 5th child, and this woman handled the birth the best. We've watched probably, I want to say, 30 to 40 birth vlogs, I would say.
She had 4 children.
She had 4
Paved the
children.
way.
I know. But what I'm saying is she had, I mean, she was like Tom Brady at birth. She'd done it so many times. She was the GOAT of giving birth. And she just handled it like a champ. And there was some really good, it was one of the best birth vlogs for me personally, because there was some really good breathing tips in there that I want to try and remember to help you with.
Yes.
And she just remained calm, and no matter what, like, it's gonna be a wild experience. But she said something about how, like, if you're in the right mental state and you're breathing right, it can almost be pleasurable. And I know that that's like kind of a wild thing to think about, but I think,
I don't need it to be that. I just want it to be like healthy. And I mean, you can almost tell when you watch a birth vlog, you can almost tell when somebody loses their mental game.
Yes,
because
exactly.
they start breathing and yelling instead of like, or they stop breathing deeply and they start screaming instead of like using their breath to control their...
I just have to say, this fresh squeezed lemonade from Trader Joe's, I was like thinking pretty highly of it, but the more sips I take, it's like a sugar bomb.
Oh yeah, I had
and
a
then I
little sip
looked
and
at
was
it.
like, oh no.
There's 28 grams of sugar, including 27 grams of added sugar. What the heck? Why would you need to add that much sugar? They say it's fresh squeezed unpasteurized lemonade. I don't get that. Like, you could add half that and it'd still be so good. That bugs me. Are you contracting?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we just hit the 30-minute mark, so we are going to switch over to our Patreon podcasts. We do half the podcast on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, for anybody to watch, anybody to enjoy, comment on, whatever. And then the second half, where we get a little risque, where we get a little naughty, where we have a little bit too much fun sometimes, we do that on Patreon. Right, babe?
We do.
And we love our Patreons. So we are going to switch over to Patreon for this episode, and we'll see you guys very soon.
Next week, maybe with a baby.
Maybe with a baby.